Hello, CSL fans. My name is Drew, and today I'm joined by.
Kraken Nation.
Yeah,
Didn't know you were
hello.
going for that.
Anyway, after long-awaited pestering and annoyance from pretty much everybody that's in the CSL, I have the Season 4 awards, and we are bringing them to you in the form of a YouTube video. But first, before we get into all that, Season 4 has ended, and the playoffs have ended, and we have a champion. So congratulations to Reelys of the San Diego Wild Chargers after pulling a 2-0 victory out in the finale against the Mad Cargo Tel Aviv Alpha Juarez. I think it was a pretty great match, some very innovative sets all around. Did you have any thoughts on it?
It was funny to see all the times that the move Toxic was clicked, and also all the times that it missed in that battle.
How
But
many did we count?
I
6?
think there were 4 or 5 misses, and then in
Oh,
total, like it was clicked probably like 10 or 11 times.
oh my god. Like
Um,
every single Pokemon had Toxic.
yeah, it was ridiculous. But I don't think that detracted from the match, honestly, because like it ended up being a pretty cool match overall, and like finals worthy match. It was cool to watch.
Yeah, and of course, congratulations to everybody else who made the playoffs. The Boston Bisharps made it to semifinals. Calgary Hydro Cannons made their first ever playoffs appearance, and unfortunately did not go as far as they hoped to, but definitely had a great showing in the season. Saugatuck Sand took the number 1 seed, but unfortunately were stuck in semifinals, and the Detroit Pie were also lost in quarterfinals, but also did a great job this season, pulling out a division win. Pretty much all these players are phenomenal players. It was an amazing playoffs. Like, it was anybody's game.
Yeah, I really feel like this time around was the first time where I feel like anybody could go the distance. So it
Right.
was cool to watch.
I agree. So on to the awards. We have first the top offensive threat, which goes to Staraptor of the San Diego Wild Chargers. Staraptor took the number 1 top kills Pokemon. Like, it was without a doubt an incredible offensive threat that a lot of people weren't expecting. Like, I remember in playoffs against Zoops, Staraptor was with Brave Bird. Choice Bandit took out a max defensive Rotom Heat at about half health. So, and that is what won released the game. So it's like it's small things like that. Even like Staraptor has a ton of wall breaking potential, and it would really is definitely used it to the full extent it could have been used.
Yeah, Staraptor was really, really kind of crazy. Like I remember, at least personally, from a player's perspective, I was really trying to get Manaphy to that top killer spot. And then at the last week of the season, I thought Manaphy had it in the bag. Then the last week of the season, they were pretty close, and then Staraptor just pulls out another like 5-0 like sweep, and I was just like, "What is going on?" I just gave up at that point because Staraptor just consistently like kept picking up kills. I think it's worth noting that this is the second week that second season in a row now that the Wild Chargers have had the top Pokemon, top
Yes,
offensive
and
Pokemon.
at least this one wasn't Miltank.
Yeah, at least man, that's crazy.
Second place we had Manaphy. Like you said, you were trying to get the top kill. You were trying to get to number 1 on the top kills list, but didn't quite get there. But it definitely pulled out some 6-0, 5-0 sweeps throughout the season. So it was definitely pretty good. And then Sharpedo did put a lot of offensive pressure and was certainly an overlooked Pokemon. So it's good to see the top 3 here. Any thoughts on these two? I know you had Manaphy.
I love Manaphy. I was really hoping to do better for Manaphy this season. Just like I'd get it a championship win, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. I was surprised to see that people were voting so highly for Sharpedo, but if it's what the people want, I think Sharpedo is definitely an intimidating Pokemon. It's just I was surprised to see it so high up on the list.
I agree, yeah. So on to top defensive threat. Certainly an interesting. I guess the first 2 make sense. Third one was definitely interesting. We'll get into that later. Snorlax was great, and I think even though it's on this top defensive threat list, you used it definitely to its full offensive potential as well. I think you had a Choice Bandit set or a Assault Vest set many weeks. Just being able to use its versatility, and it's your free agent, so.
Um,
Um,
if I can jump in.
Franchise.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, franchise. I think Snorlax. I said this in one of my videos, but Snorlax was really great because, unlike you kind of touched on, it's a defensive Pokemon that every time it came in could still keep up offensive pressure and like wouldn't just
Right.
become dead weight to my momentum in the battle. And that was really awesome to be able to have on the team because like It doesn't have. It's a Pokemon that can come in and be like defensively stop something, and then not have a switch in potentially. And that's pretty boastful like thing that I'd be able to have as a Pokemon. So really came in clutch.
Yeah, and I think Clappable also severe as well, who has just constantly been able to come in at the right moment and just be a bulky, annoying Pokemon that just sets up and can, once again, like it is used in a sweeper fashion, as in like Curslax or whatever, but it's still a huge defensive threat that you just can't take down. So I think Clappable was just used really well by Alpha. I think out of all the games he brought it to, it never fainted. Like all the games that he won, he brought Clappable. And then also, Clappable never died in all the games he won. So I think that's something interesting to point out.
Yeah.
And then Crobat was certainly interesting. You usually expect Crobat to be a little bit more offensive. But Classy definitely used it in a very mostly defensive way.
Yeah, he did, which was interesting. It has a pretty cool defensive typing, I think, which is what kind of played into that, with some unique resistances. And I also think it has access to a pretty decent like utility move pool, with like
Defog,
Roost,
Taunt.
Defog, Taunt, so Toxic, stuff like that.
Haze definitely came in handy.
Yeah,
when
true. So
Rio.
I'm surprised to see it considered so highly, but like it also doesn't like when I think about it, like I can think of some times where it had some really defensive presence.
Yeah, I agree. On to top PU pick, we have Licky in first place, which is definitely an interesting Pokemon that a lot of people didn't expect to do so well when it was drafted. I remember just Zoops telling me that Licky had such a versatile like move pool with pretty much a move for every type you can think of, as well as balanced offensive equal defenses and equal offenses. So as well as the fact that it's a wish passer, and also a cleric. So, I mean, there were some times when it was just super bulky and people couldn't take down, and then there were other times where it just came out turn one and normal gem explosions and took out a huge threat from the other team. So, sometimes it was defensive, sometimes it was just a suicide mon, but either way, it was used very well.
Yeah, I think it was really cool to see a Pumon like that, not even just a Pumon, but a Pumon nobody was expecting to do so well. Like it was used very, like I can think of so many times where it was just like using a utility role with like Wish, Protect, Heal Bell, or I can think of times where like normal gem explosion, or I remember specifically a time it ran Gyro Ball to beat Mega Diancie. I was just not expecting such a versatile move pool from this thing. It had Dragon Tail, I think, at one point. It was crazy.
For second and third place, there's Leavanny and Tangela. Tangela was able to just come in and have its regenerator boost. It has a great utility move pool with Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, Synthesis, just tons of things. Leech Seed, along with Regenerator, just made a huge threat. Leavanny was a sticky Weber, just kind of suicide lead early on in the season. Then Abda pulled through with the substitute Sword Stance set that I know you were.
I was on the wrong end of, to say the least.
Yeah, to say the least, you're on the wrong end of it. But I mean, like looking past that, like he used it very well. I think it was notably used well in the match against you, and also used well in the match against Dan, where Abda brought not a Sword Dancing set, but an offensive set with Heal Bell, so Will-O-Wisp couldn't bring it down. So I thought that was used very, I guess, just smart. Abda is killer with prep, and I would argue Abda is one of the best prep people in this. Like, he's one of the players who's best at prep in the league, in my opinion. So I think it's something that that often goes overlooked, and I think he used Leavanny very well.
I agree with that. He prepped ridiculously hard for our battle, and it was obvious. So I was like just overwhelmed a little bit at the time.
So we have for most improved coach, Dubstep Penguin actually being in first place, which I 100% agree with. Dub after being in playoff season 1, season 2 and season 3 didn't really shine too bright on him. But, even though he didn't make playoffs this season, he definitely had a lot of moments where he definitely could have, and essentially ending the season, I believe 7-6, he did very well. And I think, he had a rough start at the beginning. I think he went 0-2 with like a -10, but then he really brought it back with a lot of strong wins. And the thing about Dub in the past seasons is that he always, like, when he loses like 0-6 or 0-5, but when he wins, he always wins like 1-0 or 2-0. I think that kind of changed for him this season. He was able to get a lot stronger wins, and he was able to, like, not build teams like directly beforehand and instead plan it out according to the week as it went along.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dub just like kind of. I've made this analogy before, but I think we can see like the Dub is one of those players that like some players in this league have trouble with like getting down on themselves, even in battle, after battle, saying like losing confidence in their own ability. And I think Dub's an example of a player who, like, even when a battle it was going badly this season, like he finally found it in himself to like just not just completely give up when the battle wasn't going his way. And I think that really paid off. And I mean, it obviously did, because you can see him here as most improved coach. He found a way to just kind of like not give up on himself too much, which I think really just came to his benefit.
I agree. In second place, we have Abda, who made playoffs for the very first time this season. Got some huge wins, one against you, one against... he got a big win against Alpha. He got a big win against, I believe, Easy Bake. He got a big win against... I think, yeah, he got a ton of big wins. One over Dan. Like, he got some strong wins that a lot of people didn't expect him to do. After going 1-6 in season 1 and making it all the way to playoffs, and in a much more competitive like setting. Like, season 1 obviously was not the most competitive season, and he did frankly horrible in it. But now we're in season 4, and he's kicking ass in an environment that's hyper competitive. It just shows extreme growth from his part.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and like Abda got a win against me in a very clutch fashion. So like I can't like I can't say anything bad about him. He's come a long way since season 1, and he's proved that like he has what it takes to tangle with the best of them in this league. So I think that's pretty cool to see that he's like, I think out of the 3 players on this list, he's the best one. I think Dub has improved more, but I think like it's worth noting that Abda is probably the best player of these 3, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And then Texas Toros were the only team that was able to defeat Classy in the regular prelims, and then also Easy Bake Oven also from going. I think he went 7-5 in both seasons, but I just overall skill wise, prepping, people he's won against, I think he improved a stronger amount in this season.
I think we saw like just him like kind of formulating better draft plans, and I'm hoping to see more focus out of him in future seasons, more like dedication to the team building process. I think there's more potential that can be unlocked there.
I agree. So for biggest upset, speaking of the Texas Toros, we have Easy Bake Oven defeating Classy of the Saugatuck Sand Slashes. I think this was a really good match. It was Easy Bake just... When you think of good prep, it's like imagining like he brought Defiant Braviary against Classy's Intimidate Crocodile lead, and that was something he obviously 100% planned from the start. And it's small things like that just him putting immediate pressure on another team, and him just saying like, I don't care if this team is what Classy was like 7-0 at the time, like I'm still gonna win. Like, I think that mindset is really good going into matches, and that's why it wasn't an upset where it was like a Pokemon got lucky and was able to set up. Like, it was an upset where Easy Bake just maintained pressure the entire time.
I can't say that I remember a ton from the match, but I think just the fact that he ended what it was an almost undefeated season single-handedly is pretty impressive. So I can't honestly say too much more than that because I just don't remember very well.
Memphis Mamoswines defeating Calgary Hydro Cannons in both Week 4 and Week 11 was certainly an amazing upset. The first one, Mega Diancie was able to set up and call Mind and turn a 4-6 match against Anthony's favor into a 4-0 was certainly impressive. And even though he got lucky with some Diamond Storm boosts, he was still well played by Ant, being able to know when he was able to set up, as well as the second time when Abda made some key errors, but Ant just basically out-prepped him, and I thought that was just the way he, like, week 11 versus week 4. Like, week 4, Ant just got really lucky and was able to set up with Diancie at the right time, whereas in week 11, Ant just maintained pressure the entire time, which I think was very smart or not smart, but, like, very impressive on Ant's part.
I just remember thinking that the first time that I remember the specific play where Slowbro switched out of Diancie instead of clicking Scald, and Antoine clicked Calm Mind there. I guess it's Ant-Man now. Clicked Calm Mind there, and that was a pretty critical, pivotal point in that particular battle. As I guess it was just kind of the kind of mess up by the Calgary Hydro Cannons that cost them the game. So I think that was what contributed to that upset, and it ended up being a pretty crazy upset. I think that might have been the Mammoth Swine's first win of the season.
Yeah, it was. So in third place was week 5 when Cherrymander of the Scion Zards ended up defeating you. It was a really good match, though. Like, he definitely did have a live team matchup, but it was definitely interesting to see a 0-4 team take down a 4-0 team. And I think that's also just kind of another moral of the story thing, where it's like, you know, if let's say you are 4-0, like, I'm not saying you did this, but, like, let's say you are 4-0, never think that anyone of a significantly lower record has the capability to take you down, because they can.
Yeah, I mean, just to, like, talk about... So, I'll talk about this game a little bit. I talked about it in my videos for sure, but, like, I'll refer back to it now. So, going into that game, I remember thinking, I literally do not possess a switch into Dragalge. Like, it does not exist on my team. So I was scared right off the bat. He had a lot of really scary things on his team, for sure. But I remember just the pivotal point being where, like, I had Trick Room Reuniclus up, and after the battle, people kept saying, oh, he was obviously just switching into his immunities. But the thing is, that's like a hard thing to read in the battle. And so Cherry was just switching into his immunities, and it ended up being something that he outplayed me with. So credit to him for that. And then beyond that, I think kind of what you touched on is that beyond just saying like a 0-4 team can beat a 4-0 team, I knew that Cherry's record of 0-4 in no way, shape, or form spoke to his ability as a player. I was like, I'm pretty aware that Cherry's like a better player than that. He ended up doing pretty well against some pretty key opponents. He almost beat Izzy or Zwoops in the final week of the season. He beat me. Like he plays well. It just I think at times he didn't get super lucky with either matchup or just making the right plays. But it doesn't speak to his ability as a player. And so I think he in this particular game, like he really proved that like he's better than the 0-4 record at the time showed.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think he ended the season something like 5-7 or 5-7 or 5-8, and I think that was pretty good for him.
Yeah,
definitely was able to pick it back up from those other losses. So for the sweep of the season, I know.
Oh man, that is getting rubbed in.
Let me just say, when we were putting this PowerPoint together, and I tell Akeem that Lee Vanny was in first place next to his Snorlax, you weren't such a happy camper.
I was not.
Would you care to explain why?
Okay, so listen up, ladies and gentlemen of the CSL. Yes, I got swept by a Levani. It happened, okay? That was a cool play by Alpha. He set up for that sweep well. It was a good sweep and all. But Snorlax, I know you guys like your underdog sweep story. Oh, the PU Pokemon swept one of the top teams in the league. Okay, that's cool. But Snorlax brought a game that was 6-1 down. Blazin, the Florida Alligators, had 6 Pokemon, and I had just Snorlax. And it brought that around and won the game. So, I'm sorry that you guys think 4 or something Pokemon killed by Levani or something in a battle. What was that, 4 or 5? That's great and all, but, man, like, this is... yeah.
Hilarious, too. Levani in this picture just looks straight up confused about where it is.
I mean, Snorlax just never even has its eyes open, so there's that.
Yeah, it's true.
It just, I felt like Snorlax, like, should have... people didn't give little old Snorlax any credit for literally going 6-0 in a battle where it was like so far
You
behind.
definitely have to deserve some credit for that, though, because I don't think that's been done ever in CSL history. I think it was something that it's definitely going to be memorable, as well as the Levani sweep will be as well.
Oh no, I'm not trying to downplay the Levani sweep.
The Levani sweep was great.
It was well executed. He set up well for it. He prepped well for it. Okay, props to the Calgary Hydro Cannons for that. It's just like what Snorlax did was just unfathomable in that battle.
Yeah, I agree. But that's okay. Shout out to Abda. He did a great job with Levani, like we said earlier. And then also the Staraptor sweep.
This was a pretty cool sweep too, though, I think.
This was a really cool sweep because BC was up, I believe, 6-2. So this is almost like your Snorlax
Yeah,
sweep.
This was a very... honestly, I would have put this above the Levani sweep as well. But maybe that's my personal bias. I don't know.
Savage. But it was also 6-2 in BC's favor against Realies, and Realies intentionally let Staraptor get burned by a defensive Entei, and then switched out, sacked something off, came back in, and then facaded literally everything, and it was one-hit KO'd. So
it was a crazy thing to watch happen. Just like
absolutely insane. It's uploaded on BC's channel to some pretty sick music too. So
BC kind of just watched his team just get torn apart.
BC was so confident he was getting a 6-0.
Yeah. Really was honestly off his game the entire battle. It didn't seem like he was on his A game at all. And then just this one thing happened, and I like how you described it after in the recap that week. It was the misplay that you could have never known.
Yeah,
because burning a Staraptor is usually a good play to make. Let's make that clear.
Right, burning a Staraptor is usually good. And when he burned the Staraptor, DC was probably like, oh yeah, now I have the 6-0. It's fine now. And then Staraptor just comes in and facades everything.
And the game was just...
It was very sad.
It just ripped BC's team apart. It was insane to watch that happen.
Yeah, I think that was also an insane sweep.
Yeah.
And that's why I think for overall MVP, Staraptor got first place. I think Staraptor has just done so many amazing things this season. It's pulled off so many. It was top killer. It got so many 5-0 wins, 6-0 wins against certain other teams. When it was, I remember in the draft, Rio was like, I'm drafting Staraptor, and everyone was like, what? That's a BL pick. That's kind of strange. Interesting pick, but it doesn't seem to work well with your team. But, it ended up working really well. Rio was able to just bring it in, put some crazy offensive pressure on it, with whether it was Banded, whether it was Scarf. I think there are also those weeks that go overlooked where he brought a natural gift set with Staraptor, and it also worked pretty decently. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Staraptor was just it was an interesting pick for sure, and I think this goes to kind of to Rio's credit. He just both seasons now has taken a mon that people weren't expecting and just dominated with it both seasons, and it's just crazy to watch.
I agree.
He's not taking mons that are easy to win with. He's not taking mons that people are like, oh, that's a great Pokemon that sweeps everything. That's a good one. He's not taking his Kyurem Blacks or his Manaphies or anything. It's he's taking Pokemon that people wouldn't usually even pick up at all, even think about.
Right.
So yeah.
And then second place we had Manaphy. Your love and joy, your pride, your baby.
I'm gonna miss little guy when he leaves me next season, but it was a good run. I'm sad that I've never gotten a championship win for him. I felt like I owed him that because he credit to Manaphy in season 3 because
he just single-handedly pulled you through the season.
He single-handedly. That's exactly all by himself or herself. I don't know. It's genderless. I think I'm not sure, but single-handedly pulled me through the entire season of losing. It just every single game I won was because Manaphy felt like doing it.
I don't know. Mega Ampharos was a great pick on your part.
Manaphy was just crazy. So I'm gonna be definitely sad to see it go, but we had a good time. We had a good time together. We had a good run. So
yeah.
It's not the most heartbreaking thing. I hope it finds a good home next season wherever it ends up. Maybe it'll end up with me again. I don't know. Who knows?
Who do you not want it to end up with? Who do you not trust?
If I had to pick,
Probably easy.
I don't know. I feel like I probably have a better understanding of Manaphy now at this point than anybody else in the league. And so I feel
How salty would you be if whoever picked up Manaphy next season ended up getting it to top killer?
I would be devastated. Without a doubt. I would be devastated. But like Manaphy, like I feel like at least personally, I really know what Manaphy can and can't do now.
Right.
So like I'm not too worried about playing against it ever.
And you pulled all the stops. You finally tried Bandify.
I tried Bandify, I did Calm Mind variants, I did Salic Berry, I did Wakan Berry, I did Shell Bell. Like, there's not much Manaphy can do that I don't know anymore. Like, you to ask me if Manaphy gets a move, I ran Skill Swap Manaphy. Like, GG. Like, let's talk. Like, let's end that conversation there. I brought Skill Swap Manaphy once.
Oh no, you didn't bring Acid Armor Manaphy. That would have been pretty good.
I almost brought Acid Armor Uniclus once.
Or a Heal Bell. Manaphy gets Heal Bell. Could have been a cleric.
Bring just a straight up defensive Manaphy with Calm Mind and Acid Armor, Heal Bell, Rain Dance or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, continue.
Anyway, we have Mega Dancy here too. Anthony used it pretty well. He was able to set up subs, Calm Mind, do some things.
I think Mega Dancy was Antoine's basically like only really high offensive powerhouse mon. He had other offensive Pokemon, but it was like the only real top tier one.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a horrible thing. I think he
just let it shine a lot. I think it let it shine a lot. I think.
Yeah, and that's definitely not a bad thing. I mean, last season you had one Pokemon that shined out.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Once again, back to Manaphy in Season 3. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the awards. Congratulations to everyone who got an award, for everyone who didn't get an award. There's always next season.
Try harder next season.
Try harder next season, and also just like, never let any awards get to you. This is all
for fun and games.
Things. So, it's whatever, and there's no looking past. There's only looking forward to next season. If you didn't do as well as you hoped to do in Season 4, Season 5 awaits, and Season 5 could be better. It could be what you make out of it. So, speaking of Season 5, we have the conferences here. On the left is the Hoenn Conference. On the right is the Sinnoh Conference. The divisions are not announced, so these are in no particular order whatsoever. But these are the conferences. I guess some notable things. It's like the winning of playoffs aside, like the top 2 seeds of this season are in the same division, or in the same conference, which is you and Classy.
Yeah.
And then the other 4 are in the Sinnoh Conference.
Yeah.
So I think the 4 are fighting for. There are essentially going to be 4 people who are in playoffs this season fighting for 3 playoff spots, which is definitely going to be interesting.
And that's not to say that like there's people in this conference that I feel like can definitely like shine too. I think never count,
definitely. Especially
Entertainment, Syracuse Sylveons. Don't count them out. They were a finalist in Season 3, so I think like there's teams like it's great to see it. If I can just talk on this topic a lot, the level of competition in this league is just consistently higher and higher every season, and it's awesome to see because like you look around now and like you look at like these conferences and like even in past seasons like it's comparatively an easy conference or something, or like it's comparatively an easy division, but you look at these now and they're never easy anymore.
None of them are easy. I mean, if we just go down the line, like Manaphy City FC was in playoffs in Season 2. You were in playoffs every season, won the first 2 seasons. San Antonio Septiles were the winners of this CSL. NJ Plebebe were in Season 4 and kicked some ass, and also were in some other leagues and won. Soccer Sand Slashes, though never won, made it to playoffs every season, and were top seed this season and 2nd seed last season, so they're definitely getting a lot better. Washington Weaviles, like we just said, is the most improved coach, so definitely you wouldn't count them out. BC Bastiodons, like, have
CSL finalists.
Yes.
D-League finalists.
CSL D-League finalists, as well as just somebody who did really well, especially in a tough conference this season with, like, Classy and Dan. Texas Toros have always been the 7th seed.
It's kind of rough to watch. They're always the one right out of playoffs.
They're literally the one, right out of playoffs. They've been the 7th seed every time they've competed. So, that definitely does not mean they're bad whatsoever.
No, they're definitely up there.
No, we have the Westerville Whalelords, who were CSL finalists. Detroit Pyroar, who won Season 3, were in playoffs in Season 2 and Season 4. Syracuse Sylveons, who were Season 3 finalists. Nashville Nido Kings, who are returning from Season 2, and you never know how
We'll see how they do now.
well
Yeah.
they're going to do returning.
Detroit Pyro was on here twice. Who are we forgetting?
Oh, true. Oops.
I don't know
who
who
are we
we're
forgetting.
San Diego Wild Chargers, Memphis Mammoth Swines,
Tel Aviv.
Calgary Hydro Cannons.
Calgary Hydro Cannons. Sorry, Abda. Anyway, Calgary Hydro Cannons. I do want to say though, Nashville Nido Kings are definitely not to be counted out because they were in Season 2 and they didn't do amazingly, but also Opto was in Season 1 and not in Season 2 and came back being freaking amazing. So you never know. Memphis Mammoth Swines have pulled off some incredible upsets. Definitely don't count them out. Calgary Hydro Cannons took their first playoff appearance this season, so it definitely means they're getting better. San Diego Wild Chargers won the freaking season this season. And then Magcargo Tel Aviv were finalists this season and in playoffs last season. Basically what I'm saying is all of these players have their own accomplishments in their own way. None of them can ever be counted out, and I think that Season 5 is just going to be absolutely insane with the level of skill.
I mean, with the concept of the D-League kind of like, with the Little League, I think like every season it's going to get crazier and crazier as far as the competition goes. Because we look at the Little League for next season, the roster, and like there's some talent there too. So it's kind of crazy to see what this league is becoming. I'm like, let's talk about Season 6 in the future. Like, assuming everybody hopefully stays, and like we keep filtering into like a more competitive system, it's gonna be crazy. Like, it's gonna be crazy. So we'll see. But I'm pretty amped to see where this league is headed.
Definitely. And then in terms of Season 5, we have a draft time and day. So it's going to be April 16th, which is a Saturday. So next week, Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what 12 p.m. is, so it's just noon. Like, I didn't know which one, whether it was AM or PM. But 12 p.m. happens to be noon, so keep that in mind. If that confuses you like it confuses me, I live in Central Standard Time, and that's 11 a.m. for me. Anyone who is not a part of this actual CSL and is not competing is welcome to come on the server. It's competitiveShowdownLeague.psim.us. It's also on the serverless channel on Pokemon Showdown. And there will also be a live stream on James Sanity's channel, and it's spelled exactly like that. It's going to be a YouTube stream, and the draft is going to be streamed. It's going to be a cool format and everything. So definitely stay tuned and check that out.
Yeah, be there or be square.
So yeah, that's about it. I guess we'll see you in Season 5.
Is that how you want to end that video?
I was alluding towards you.
Oh, well, I guess we're ending the video there now.
Did you end it?
No, well, now we're talking about this, so probably.
So are we? Oh, okay. Wait, are you still recording?
Yeah.
Let's just keep this in the end.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay, fair enough. Whatever. I'll stop recording now. Okay.
Wait, what? Oh.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what to.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording now.